So I don't know what's going on with LinkedIn, but I'm getting lots of connections, and maybe they're starting to feature me. I don't know what. On that note, I'm going to feature Tom Fishburne as usual. Here we go. We'll start off with Tom. It's so important to leave our offices once in a while and get out like this in the real world. Which yacht party are we going to again? This is the Cannes Lions Advertising Awards, and Tom has quite a bit to say on this. I think it's funny. He says, he mentions Mark Ritson, my comprehensive guide to what marketers can learn this week at Cannes. Nothing. It's a blank page. See that? Ritson's so funny. Okay, Ritson likes the Effie Awards, and he did a whole thing on Tide's award-winning Super Bowl ads, marketing and creative. I like this one too. I create content about content marketing for content marketers, marketing to other content marketers. And if I'm doing that, tell me to stop. I had to reboot my phone, ground zero my phone. So your marketing plan to sell more soup is live streaming virtual reality, 3D printing wearable drones? Maybe we shouldn't have scheduled this meeting right after South by Southwest. And there's just too much of that going on. But I did want to show one ad award winner from 2014 from Cannes because I liked it.
Country towns in Australia have a problem. Their young people leave for the city and never come back. One train operator, V-Line, set out to help mums and dads in country towns bring their kids back to visit, and sold a whole lot of train tickets to boot.
That's the important part.
The Guild Trip was a prepaid ticket back home that parents could send to their kids who live in the city. But it was much more than just a ticket.
I understand. I know the pub must be so much more fun than visiting your mum and dad.
It was a way for parents to lay some serious guilt onto their kids. Every ticket came with a message to hit kids where it hurt.
Stephen, it's your mum who raised you from birth. If you can find the time to visit, here's a train ticket back home.
Parents were given all the tools they needed to send guilt trips. Instructional guidebooks were sent to families in the country, along with how-to videos.
Always start with a positive. Oh no, I'm fine. And end with a negative. Sometimes I get quite lonely.
And then they laugh.
Paid media also spread the word.
Yeah, the neighbor's son visited. Why don't you? We'll do the family portrait
I would
without
call my mum, and she actually would pretend that she didn't know me. This is so bad. Like, I would call, she would say, oh, who's this? I don't know anyone by the name of Kelly.
Soon, people were coming up with all kinds of ways to send their...
So it's not all ineffective at Cannes. It's just something we laugh about. Okay, so that was the 2014 winner, and that was probably their pitch on why they should win. And on that note, we're going to go look back, a little reprise. This is a podcast over at mindfiredavinci.com, which is the only people who aren't paying any attention whatsoever. Nordstrom's J. Jill make a $125 million error by cutting direct mail. Your customers are probably making the same mistake. This is sent to print salespeople, okay? And the two major companies made one wrong decision. Dave Rosendale, I've invited him to come on and visit. Let's see if anybody's on here. I should pay attention to the comments every now and then. Okay. Give me some hearts over there. I'm actually watching. Anyway, so it's a good point to make. But the point I want to make, the bigger point, is that measurable advertising doesn't mean it's measured, doesn't mean you're measuring correctly, and is not testing, and is not direct marketing. Okay? If either of these two companies would have done any kind of reasonable testing, they would have known that this was a mistake. And the problem we have, the biggest problem we have in marketing today, is that we have a generation of marketers who don't know how to do a test. Yeah, they can do an A-B split on a headline, but they don't know how to take it all the way back. They stop where Google stops. They stop where it's convenient to stop. Nobody takes it back to profit. Nobody takes it back to lifetime value, which is basically profit magnified over a couple of years. And that's the trouble. The trouble is we're not doing valid testing. We're doing tweaky little stuff where we try to figure out in some AI way what the attribution is. They could have just tested 6 stores and it would have been fine, but they didn't. Okay? And on that note, sometimes old tech is better than new tech. There's a lyrics website called Genius, and junk phone call. Genius. And what they did, they had this suspicion that Google was just cutting and pasting their lyrics. They're a lyric site. Because Google would rather, if you typed, what are the lyrics for Somewhere Over the Rainbow? Google would rather serve those up to you directly rather than send you to a source that has those lyrics. That's the gist of it. And, you know, you ask Google the weather, and it'll give you a weather statement. You don't have to go to weather.com or any of the other sites, right? And so they said Google was lifting all their stuff and putting it in their own archive, the Google archive, so they didn't have to send them over to Genius. So what did they do? They tapped 1830s technology. They took, in their lyrics, they took the apostrophes, okay? You know what an apostrophe is? It's apostrophe, IT apostrophe S. And some of the apostrophes, they put just a dot apostrophe. And some they put that little comma looking thing, curvy thing, and, you know, almost imperceptible. But it spelled out red-handed in Morse code. Right here. Right? Got it? It spelled out, we caught you red-handed. And the judge agreed. I think that is just fantastic. Okay? On another note, big news. Unilever gets the marketers to take DNA tests to challenge stereotypes beyond gender. Basically, racial stereotypes. So I think of myself as a white male, partly because I'm white all over anymore. I'm a lot whiter than I was in my youth. Anyway, but, you know, I'm German, Austrian, and that's kind of a melting pot area, just north of all those Mediterranean types. My relatives over there go to Italy for pizza because it's only 4 kilometers up the hill. Anyway, so, you know, I'm probably more of a mutt than it sounds. And so they did this genetic test. And, you know, they showed videos, actually, of the people getting these results and showing that they had percentages of other races that they may have categorized differently when they thought they weren't them. Now, you know, this could also kind of backfire. You know, we know the Elizabeth Warren story where she thought she was Native American, or she said she thought she was, and took advantage of some affirmative action, a lot of affirmative action, only to find out that she had no more Native American in her than the Queen of England or somebody, than just about everybody else. But I thought it was a pretty clever idea. And, you know, if you realize that we all go back to Adam and Eve, which I believe, then we're all mixed up. We're all part of each other, and we're all brothers and sisters, and so get over it, right? And lastly, I wanted to talk about, there's this ongoing issue of why don't CMOs get to be CEOs? Well, I can tell you why, because I meet with the CEO and I talk about the marketing people. And the answer is we just joke about it. They care more about the color of the font than they care about whether the thing makes any money. That's the point of Con. The point is we want to win creative awards. We don't really want to win effectiveness awards. But if you want to get to be CEO, you got to start thinking like a CEO. You got to think, will this make money? And if you want to know how to make money, you need to learn how to do tests. Scientific advertising, Claude Hopkins, or call an old whitebeard guy and ask him how to do it. This is the key to making money in advertising. It doesn't mean you can't be creative, but it means you can quantify the differences in profit, in growth, in real numbers that will get you to the CEO job or get you to the board of directors. I'm John Miglautsch. Like and share. Likes are nice, but shares mean you care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.